So we got Mike Wingard with us. He is also known as Legacy Mike. So Mike, tell us where you started from and where you're at right now and kind of catch us up to speed.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me on here. I love doing this kind of stuff. This energizes me so much. So, if you guys have questions, like post them, we'll answer them. I'm all about that.
Definitely.
So I kind of wanted to touch real quick on like the legacy side of it, because that plays into everything that I did with my company and why I call myself Legacy Mike, because we all jump into businesses to make money. Like, you got to make money in a business, right? But what's the purpose behind a business? What's the greater mission behind it? And I knew for me, it was not only make money, but it was to have my time back, and it was to use that time for the greater good of the world, right? So for my family, my faith, and my community. So I had to build my company around that. And so essentially what I did was I started a company out of pure desperation, actually. Like, I just needed money. I started cleaning windows just to make some extra money. And then I was like, man, if I could make like $300 a day cleaning windows by myself, imagine if I had multiple crews. And then I could put like systems in for them to follow, and then they could go out and essentially just make money, and then I could have my time back. So in 2.5 years, I built my company up to where it was doing about 600,000 in revenue, and we had pretty high profit margins. It was in the cleaning, which you understand is
just windows.
We did window cleaning, pressure washing, and then commercial, like recurring, or like if we had move out cleans or something like that.
Yeah.
And I basically had an office manager, a general manager, and operations manager. And I was working less than 5 hours a week in the company. And so, I was making over 6 figures in net income, and I was doing my own thing. Well, then I was like, the real test if my company is going to run is if I move away. So I moved 12 hours away to right off of Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. And I was down here starting to build another company. And that company ran without me, and I started building this other one. Well, then the pandemic hit, and then it was like everything was shut down. Couldn't do anything. And I started looking like, what do I really want to do with my life? It was a good opportunity to reevaluate. And that's when I started going, am I expanding because that's the next logical step, or am I doing it because that's actually what I want to do? And the answer was that it was the next logical step. And so I just started making videos encouraging people that we were going to get through the pandemic. Everything was going to be good. People started messaging me, and they're like, man, dude, that video really hit me, and I love everything that you were doing. And then that's kind of how the mastermind happened. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. And I helped start a moving company down here in Bluffton, and we got rated best moving company in the area year 1, which is pretty cool.
Man, that's insane. So you've got a family and kids. We were talking about it in the green room.
Yeah.
So were they with you on the start of the cleaning company?
Yeah, like my daughter or my son, my wife would come to jobs with us if we had like guys call out or whatever. And she would literally have him strapped on her like as an infant, and we'd be like vacuuming and like at 10 o'clock in the evening. So that's when the lights start going up in your head, like, man, we need more systems. We need more people and all that. And actually, before I moved to Bluffton, we had a baby like 10 days before we moved down here. So it was like,
wow.
We had the baby, our house was on the market. We rented a place down here and just like moved our entire thing. So like we risked it all. Like we had a business up there that was my main source of income. That was like my baby, essentially. A house still on the market, a brand new baby, moved to a city where we didn't know a single person down here. We literally just picked a spot on the map, and we're like, it'd be cool to live by the beach. And we just did it.
That's crazy. So dude, tell me, how much capital did you have to start up your cleaning business?
Yeah. So like, that's the best part about it was I had nothing. Like I started it out of pure desperation. Like I remember looking at my bank account. I will never forget this number. I had $143 in my account. And I went from a 6-figure salary, like 6 months, like before that. My wife and I were both working at a Fortune 500 company in Pittsburgh, and I decided to quit, and I wanted to start my own business. I started selling real estate as an agent, thinking that would be like a good thing to do. And it wasn't. I hated it. And then I started depleting. I had like $25,000 saved up, and I started depleting through my savings over the course of like 5-6 months.
Sure.
And then I just look at my bank account and I'm like, dude, we have no money. And like, we have a kid on the way. And I was not used to that. I was used to making $10,000 a month,
Yeah.
And then that's when
were you in sales at that Fortune 500 company? Were you in sales?
No, I was in merchandising. So I was like a buyer. I worked for Dick's Sporting Goods.
Okay. So, gotcha.
Yeah. And then I just remember like I went to dinner, and my wife and I, like, we had no money, dude. We literally had a gift card to go to Outback. And like I went to Outback and I just like put my head in my hands and I'm just like, this is stupid what I'm doing. Like I've been doing this real estate sales for 6 months. I don't like it. I'm barely making enough money to survive. And my buddy was like, you should just start cleaning windows, dude. You could go out like tomorrow and make money. And I was like, I literally went to Home Depot. I got a bucket and a mop and a squeegee. And I started knocking on storefronts. Dude, can I clean your windows for $10 right now? And like, I think they felt bad for me. So they let me do it. And they just paid me cash out of the register. But like, I was making like $100 a day just going out cleaning windows. And that was with me going out and canvassing all day to get the work.
Yeah.
I'm like, imagine if I actually had contracts, then I wouldn't have to go out and sell all day.
Dude, your story's so similar to mine, man. That's exactly how I started. It was, I got a buffer and I got on the internet to figure out, because I was like, I do not have $25,000 to buy a truck mounted steam cleaning unit to go clean any carpet. And I got on Craigslist, found a buffer, got online, found out what chemicals, before I bought the buffer, what chemicals would work with it. And then literally went door to door. And as I was going door to door to these commercial facilities, because I had no marketing budget, I started getting questions like, can you clean my windows? How much would you charge? They act like I already did it. How much would you charge to clean my windows? And so I picked up window cleaning, car detailing. It's just a hustler in you, man. Yeah, I love that. So tell me more about that. You got your windows going, no investment. You've got almost pure profit taking place, because really all you had was your soap and maybe the rubbers that wear out on the squeegees.
Yeah.
How did you move from that point?
Yeah. So I started thinking like, I need to go after these bigger ticket jobs, more high profit. And so I would go out on Saturdays because I knew everyone would be home, and I would actually go door knocking in neighborhoods. And I went in this one neighborhood. It was a private community. It was a retirement community. So I knew all my customers were going to be there. Like people who can't do the work and don't want to do the work and have the money to pay. So I was like, this is perfect. So, and it said no soliciting there, and I just didn't care. So I went door to door. Literally, dude, the first door I knocked on, they weren't home. Literally the second door I knocked on, the person was like, I need my windows cleaned. How much is it? And I'm like, it's $200. And she's like, great. When can you do it? I'm like, how about next week? So I go and do this job. And the story's so cool, dude. So roll with me here. So I show up to do this job and I'm like, I have no clue what I'm doing. Well, then their neighbor comes over and they're like, can you do my windows? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, they're like, well, how much are you charging? And I give them a price. Well, then one of their other friends goes driving by and like stops his car, rolls back. And he's like, you're a window cleaning guy? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I need mine done. So then he asked me to do his. And then he's like, you know what you should do? You should get in contact with Kenzie. She's the community manager. There's like 300 homes in here. She can just send an email blast about your services. And if you offer a group discount to everyone, she'll probably get you a ton of work. Dude, I scheduled like 80 jobs in that neighborhood that year. Like,
heck yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember I was at the doctor's office. We had a newborn at the time, and I got 25 jobs in one day. Like I just created a package because it was a retirement community. So I didn't have to quote because every home was the same. Yeah. So I was like, if you have this type of home, it's this price. If you have this type of home, it's this price. And they would just go online and book with me. And I look at my schedule and I'm like, dude, I just booked like $8,000 worth of work in one day.
But you know what? I find that when you put yourself out there, it really does happen that way. Yeah. I mean, you're going to get some no's and some rejections and whatnot, but all of a sudden something just hits and momentum starts. And it's all because you were willing to jump. And when your back is against the wall like yours was, you was like, I got to get out there and make something happen. Like I'm broke over here. Like what else am I going to do? So there's this fire in you that is not in others when they're sitting in a place of comfort. Totally. So that's a fabulous story, man. I love that. Man.